Honor, I feel like a monster.
Hey everyone, this is the matter of Jackson versus King. Ms. Jackson, it's my understanding you're suing Mr. King for injuries that you received when he was trying to color your hair. You are asking this court to award you $20,500 for your past medicals, $20,000 for your future medicals, and $102,500 for pain and suffering, for a total award of $143,000. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. King, you believe if she had followed your professional advice, she would have gotten the hair color she wanted and you all would not be here in court. Is that true?
Correct, Your Honor.
Well, let's get into the legal sauce. Tell me what led you to try to get your hair colored.
I'm recently divorced, and I manage a coffee shop, and I see everybody come in and with new styles, new trends, and so I thought to myself, you know what, Lucinda? You deserve a new hairstyle and a new hair color. I had long brown hair, bangs, and that was my hairstyle.
This is what you looked like before you met Mr. King.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, what inspired you to change your hair color?
I wanted to feel good about myself. I wanted to feel pretty.
Mr. King, it seems like a simple matter to change hair. I mean, I'm not one to talk, but changing it from brown to blonde, that seems like a simple matter.
It's actually not, Your Honor. There is a process. If you look at the photograph, she was a true brunette. And to go to that level, that is a two-part process.
Well, tell me about your shop.
I am the owner of Leslie King Salon. I've been in business 26 years, been very successful, never had anything like this happen. She's been a customer now for right at 13 years. And I know you know a lot about hairdressers, but we're like bartenders. So she becomes more than that. They sit down in your chair, they tell me her whole life story, the divorce. She's looking for a new man. And I said, not with this same old look, you cannot. And so she finally calls me up. She says, guess what? I've met a man. I said, fantastic. She said, and you know what? I want to change. I said, fantastic.
So, Miss Jackson, how did this hair experience go wrong?
Well, I was going over the looks I wanted with Mr. King, and the first photo you see is the hair color that I was going for.
So you wanted blonde?
Yes, sir.
Right? And you were relying on Mr. King because he had taken care of you before.
Yes, sir.
Well, what did he tell you about getting blonde?
Well, he said it was possible. My friends have gotten it before, so I was going for that color. My hair started falling out in chunks in my lap.
So, Miss Jackson, how did this hair experience go wrong?
Well, I was going over the looks I wanted with Mr. King, and the first photo you see is the hair color that I was going for.
So you wanted blonde?
Yes, sir.
Right? And you were relying on Mr. King because he had taken care of you before?
Yes, sir.
Well, what did he tell you about getting blonde?
Well, he said it was possible. My friends have gotten it before, so I was going for that color.
Mr. King, you remember this conversation? What did you tell her?
I told her that it was impossible to go from as dark of a brunette as she was to the blonde that she wanted. It was a process that would have to take at least 2 times to get it to that state.
And why wasn't that satisfactory?
My friends have gotten it done in one day. He's the professional. I thought he knew what he was doing.
Well, tell me what went wrong.
Well, I sat down in the chair with Mr. King.
Okay.
And he was putting the color in my hair. And I sat there for like 3 hours.
It did not take that long. It never takes that long. If it took that long, I mean, everybody would be out of business.
So what happened?
I was sitting in the chair, and my scalp is burning really bad. And I asked Mr. King, is this normal to feel this way? And he replied that, yes, it's fine. And he shaved my hair out. So I was sitting there. I went back to his workstation. He wanted to blow dry my hair, which is normal, as far as I know. And then once he started blow drying my hair started falling out in chunks in my lap. In chunks. I was so...
That's your hair?
This is my hair. I was horrified. I ran out of the salon as fast as I could.
So as you're sitting there in that chair, he's blow drying. Your hair's flying all around?
My hair's flying all over the place. Your Honor, I feel like a monster. Your Honor, I feel like a monster.
Mr. King, you tell Miss Jackson that it takes 2 visits to do what she wanted.
Correct, Your Honor.
If she had done 2 visits, would that have taken care of the problem? Would she have this kind of result?
She would not have this kind of result, not at all.
Would her hair be blonde?
Yes, if she had followed what I recommended from the start, and I even recommended that it was the wrong color. I told her, this is not even who you are. It doesn't go with your skin tone. In other words, everything she showed me, I told her from the start, was not what she needed.
But isn't that more stylistic than safety? I mean, if blonde doesn't fit her face.
Your Honor, in
Yes,
other words,
sir.
I have a reputation. I've been in business for 26 years.
Yes, sir.
I am not going to have her walking out of my salon and say, "Where did you get your hair done?" At Leslie King Salon. And it looked like it's not supposed to look. It's the wrong hair color, the wrong color. I'm not doing that.
But
My
think
reputation.
about, though, what she walked out with actually. That's what she walked out
she
with.
would not listen. Sir, I need to explain one more thing.
Yes, sir.
Here's the biggest problem of all. Okay.
That's not the biggest problem
No,
of all?
it's not the biggest problem of all.
Okay.
Because she did not want to listen. She did not want to listen. And in the process of what you do is I put the color on the hair. It goes for the 50 minutes. End of story. The timer goes off. It shuts down. Hair shuts down. It will not lift it up to the next level to be this platinum blonde that she wants. If she would have listened and let me go through that process, we wouldn't be here right now.
Miss Jackson, did Mr. King tell you that it takes 2 visits?
Yes, Your Honor. But he's done, my friends have gotten it done in 1 day.
Well, why were you in such a hurry? Why couldn't you have waited?
I had a date that night with my boyfriend, and I was excited.
Do you regret now not being patient?
The only thing I regret is going to Mr. King.
In order to understand this hair coloring process, this court is calling on Mr. David Barron, who is the owner of Barron's London Salon. He's an expert in hair coloring. So, Sheriff Matt, will you get Mr. Barron for us?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I feel like a monster.
Honor, can I speak, please?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
I want to know why this
I'm
is
gonna
not
tell
your
you
fault.
I'm going to tell you the bottom line of it. As the timer went off, my shampoo stylist went up to Miss Jackson that was on her phone, and she said, "It's time to rinse your hair." I'm on the phone. I'll be with you in just a minute. Okay. She stood there for a couple of seconds, looked at me, got my attention, and she went to her again and said, "Miss Jackson, now."
So she wouldn't get off the phone.
So I walk over to her, and I said, "Lucinda, now." She goes, puts her hand in my face,
Your Honor,
and
Your
I
Honor.
said, "No, ma'am."
I went to the
And she
bathroom.
goes, "I don't even go to the bathroom." So she runs to the bathroom.
I did. I went to the bathroom. I
Miss
closed the door
Jackson.
behind me.
Tell me what's going on. I mean, if you're interfering with the process, it makes it very hard
Your
for me to
Honor,
find in your favor.
He never mentioned anything about washing anything out. And if he was so insistent, he could have slipped me a note.
Lucinda, we have been friends for 13 years. I've known you forever. I've been through thick and thin with you. Just like you come and you open your heart up to me. And I said to you, I didn't do this on purpose, sweetheart. We're friends.
Look
the
at
last thing I would, but Lucinda,
Do you
I did
see
not
what I
do-
look like?
If you had have listened to me and listened to my stylist, it was time
Mr.
to
King.
but you were too busy wanting to have sex with this new guy.
That is
Mr.
none
King.
of your business.
Hold on. No, we're not doing that. She's already had enough. You don't get to insult her today. What she planned on doing has nothing to do with this proceeding. What I want you to understand, though, you do understand that this is a heavy, bigger than life experience emotionally, morally, ethically. I have no doubt that you have a responsibility to her. But legally, I've got to decide if this is your fault based only on the evidence here. My heart goes out to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ms. Jackson, you are asking this court to award you $102,500 for pain and suffering. Could you tell me about your pain and suffering experience?
I feel so bad and horrible. I can't even walk out my house without people pointing and staring at me. I'm going to have scars. I wear a scarf every day. I can't go to work. I can't make money. I can't do any of those things because I'm so ashamed. I'm so ugly. Your Honor, I feel like a monster. I want to be beautiful. And I don't think that's going to happen.
Ms. Jackson, I know you don't feel beautiful, but you are still a beautiful woman. This is going to get better.
Thank you, sir.
It starts with your hope and your patience and your positivity. This will get better for you.
Thank you, sir.
Folks, I think I've heard what I need to hear. I'm ready to render my decision. Folks, in all the personal injury cases that I have handled, this one is near the top as to how personal it gets. You still have the responsibility as plaintiff to prove your case. You've got to prove that Mr. King was wrong and that his wrong caused your obviously terrible injury. Here, you've put up evidence, Ms. Jackson, that you go in to get a one-day change of color. You're trying to get ready for your date, this new beginning in your life, and that didn't happen. Mr. King, you are a professional, and I can see it. You know what you're doing. I know you didn't intend to do this. You actually tried to tell her, slow down, let's do it over 2 visits, and I can get you what you want, but you've got to adhere to my professional advice, and she wouldn't listen. She wanted it done now, and because you are a customer pleaser, you tried to do it in 1 sitting. This case sheds big light on professional service and what professionals must do. Here, this isn't just hair coloring, you're like a hair surgeon. Despite the fact that the client wants the surgery faster, you as a professional cannot speed that up. Part of your professional duty is to do it according to the professional standards, and those require 2 visits regardless of what she says. I have to find against you, but I am not going to award you everything that you've asked for. You've asked this court to award you $143,000, but I'm not going to give you $143,000. I'm going to award you $20,500 for your past medical bills, $20,000 for your future medical expenses, and instead of $102,500 that you seek for pain and suffering, I am awarding you $602,500
So much,
for a total award of $643,000 in your favor against the defendant, and that is my final verdict. This matter is adjourned.
Thank you.